Welcome back, guys. Today, 5 dividend stocks that you could buy today and hold for the rest of your life. And in these conditions, we've seen some of the biggest, most stable companies even take a hit themselves. So I kind of want to make this list a group of stocks and companies that really do not depend on the market and market conditions. So I'm going to leave off some big ones like Apple and Disney and just pretty much narrow it down to even if the markets are up, good, bad, these are stocks that you don't have to worry about from now until the end of your time. And as always, if you think there's one I need to add to the list, get down in the comments below. Let me know about them. I definitely don't know about every single company, and I love to learn. So if you have one that I missed, leave them down in the comments below. So when I think about a dividend stock that I could buy today and hold forever, I think about things like its history, what it's doing in the current state of the market, its diversification among many different sectors, like is it protected, and how does that diversification help its future growth and profitability? Like, is this company, although it's been good for a long time, has it set itself up to make money over the long term? And with making money is going to come paying you dividends and dividend growth. So those are the kind of the things that I look at. I don't really look so much at what they've done. I more weigh what they're going to be able to do in the future. And there are definitely some key things and statistics that we look at when we're looking at the value of a stock and how good it is. And I'll bring up some stats from Seeking Alpha and show you things like PE, payout ratio, the dividend yield, things like that that are really important when choosing a stock. But I'm more thinking about the future of their brand and their product and what they're going to be able to give to us, whether the market's up, we're in a recession, we're in a bull market, we're in a bear market. It's not going to depend. They are going to be able to sustain the ride through any type of market until we are old and gray. The first company is the youngest company of them all, and that is Waste Management. Right now, their PE is sitting a little over 25%, which is okay, with the S&P 500 average being about 21. It has a payout ratio of 58%. If you're not sure what payout ratio is, that is the percentage of their net profits that they are going to pay to their shareholders in dividends. So we want that number to be nice and low so that they have room to invest back into the company, and also that their dividend is not stressing out the company as far as it's the money that it's making. It currently has a dividend yield of 2.16%, which is on the lower side of a dividend portfolio stock, but still a pretty good dividend, and it's been paying dividend growth annually for the last 17 years. Which is great for such a young company. Now, the reason that I feel that we can buy and hold this company forever through any type of market is waste is not going to go away. Unfortunately, it is our human nature to create waste, and Waste Management has a strong hold on the industry across the entire nation. I think you'd be in a really small minority if you can say that you've never seen a green waste management truck with the big yellow letters, and they have everything, all right? They are a staple company. And the ability to compete with them on their scale is going to be very hard to do. They have a network of landfills across the entire country, not only for regular waste, but for hazardous waste as well. They have permits, and if you've ever tried to get a permit, you know how hard permits can be to get. They have permits across the nation as well as in their own individual states. What I think makes them a great future company is the things that they're doing with recycling and organics and also creating natural gases from their landfills. They are evolving with the times just like we are, and that's what you need to do if you want to become a company that is going to build and grow into the future. And I think Waste Management has that. Even if we're in a recession or even if the markets are down, we are still going to create waste. There's still going to be a need for recycling. There's still going to be a need for a network of landfills and natural gases and things like that. I think Waste Management is going to be able to make it through the ups, the goods, the bads, and they're going to be a company that 100 years from now is still going strong and paying their investors dividends. The next company is over 100-year-old, and that is 3M, and they are not just a Post-it company. They currently right now have a dividend yield of just under 4%, 3.96, and a payout ratio of 73.11%. And they have something that not many companies can say. They have dividend growth for 61 consecutive years. This puts them in a special category called the Dividend Kings, and these are companies that have increased their dividend for 50 years or more. And like I just told you before, guys, they are not just a Post-it company. Guys, the Scotch brand right here, these are things that everybody has in their house, whether the market is good or bad. Simple things like lint brushes and sponges, all the way up to their Band-Aids and other adhesives and everything that you could possibly think of that we are always going to need. And yeah, Post-its are definitely their bread and butter, but guys, they are all over the place across many different industries. If we look at some here, we have healthcare, manufacturing, all the way down to transportation, government, consumer. 3M is a company that is going to be long lasting from now until the end of our time. The next company is also over 100 years old. They are also a dividend king, Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson has been increasing their dividend for 57 years now. It has a current dividend yield of 2.72%, a payout ratio of just over 50% at 52%, and a PE ratio right there where we want it to be at 23%. Guys, Johnson & Johnson brands right now are probably scattered all over your house. It's hard to get through a week without using a product that falls under the brands of Johnson & Johnson. And most of these are going to fall under health and personal care, which does not really care about market conditions. Your health is dependent on you. It's not dependent on how well the economy is doing. Some of the common brands you're going to see around your house: Listerine, Neutrogena, Tylenol, Benadryl, Sudafed, Pepsi, Band-Aid, Neosporin, Splenda, Visine, the list goes on and on and on. And this is, once again, diversified among a bunch of different sectors. Not only are Johnson & Johnson products being used at home with us, the general consumer, but you're going to see them in other commercial aspects and hospitals and things like that. They are a company, there's a reason why they've been around for so long. They're going to continue to be around for many, many generations to come. The next company I want to talk about is Kimberly Clark. And this is one of those companies actually I just learned about when I said, man, I wonder who makes Huggies. I wonder who owns Huggies. And then when I Googled it, I found out it was Kimberly Clark, a company that I heard about before, but I did not realize how big their brand really was and how this brand can really overcome any market condition. Just like Johnson & Johnson, there is a very, very good chance that you use a Kimberly Clark product on a weekly basis, even if you didn't know that they were owned by Kimberly Clark. As you can see on their website, it's like, we lead the world in providing essential and better life for our global brands as a trusted part of nearly 1/4 of the world's population in 175 countries. You look at some of these are some major, major brands. Everything from adult care, we got diapers, feminine products, paper towels, tissues. Guys, they are all over the place. Like I said, we got Huggies, I give them so much money just in diapers alone. Kotex, Scott's, Kleenex, all of these companies that we're going to be using. And just because the market's down and there's a crash doesn't mean we're not going to blow our nose and we're not going to give our kids diapers and women are not going to use these feminine hygiene products. Like, this is something that we are going to need forever. They currently have a PE ratio of under 20, so that puts them at a pretty good value right now. They've been increasing their dividend for 47 years, so just 3 more years before they become a dividend king themselves. Their current dividend yield is 3.09%, and they have a payout ratio of 57%, which means that they could even grow their dividend a little bit more as time goes on. So if you use diapers or feminine products or tissues or toilet paper or paper towels, you could pretty much be assured that Kimberly Clark is not going to go anywhere in your lifetime. And the last one's going to trigger people like it always does. The last company on my list is Pepsi. Now, to get rid of the elephant in the room, yes, I know Coke is another great brand, and I know Warren Buffett owns a ton of them, and they're a global staple, and they're shared, whatever. All right, here are the reasons why I like Pepsi, and I think that Pepsi has the potential for future growth that exceeds even Coke, and it's going to be great into future generations. The quick stats, guys: 47 years of dividend growth. Once again, 3 years away from being a dividend king. A dividend percentage of just over 3% at 3.05%. A payout ratio of 76.66 on the higher side, but that's okay. I think 76 is still pretty good. And a PE ratio of 25, making them slightly overvalued right now, but not crazy. One of the major things that sets them apart for me over Coke is their product diversification and also their revenue. Their revenue far exceeds Coke, and I think it's because they've dabbled in the food market as well. If you just take a can of Coke, yes, it sells a lot more than a can of Pepsi, but it's these other outside brands. You've never gone to a party and sat down and opened a Coke and you didn't want a potato chip, you didn't want a Tostitos, a Lay's, a Cheeto. All these are things. Pepsi gives you the best of both worlds. And these are not low-level brands either. They're snack food brands They're staples in that industry. And I think even during times of a recession, people are going to still eat potato chips and they're still going to drink soda. Their beverage lineup is also really awesome with Pepsi, Lipton, Mountain Dew, Tropicana, Gatorade. They make all the naked drinks. They make the ready-to-drink Starbucks products, Aquafina, Sierra Mist, the list goes on and on. But like I said, we look at their foods, Lay's, Doritos. Oh, if you've ever had this pita chip, this is the greatest pita chip ever. Quaker Oats. We got some hummus on there, Ruffles, popcorn, Cheetos, Tostitos. Like, you're looking at all these and you're like, holy cow, I can't believe that Pepsi owned all. At least when I looked at the list, I couldn't believe that Pepsi owned all the way into cereals, like Life cereals, like Captain Crunch, like Funyuns. They own Funyuns too. It's ridiculous. Aunt Jemima pancakes and syrups. Like I said, I think that Pepsi and their food products are going to be the thing that take them into the next level for generations to come. If you have any feedback about these guys, like I said, get down in the comments. I love constructive criticism. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Here's a most recent look of my portfolio. Until I see you guys on the next one, stay positive, work really, really hard, always be kind to other people. I hope you have yourself an amazing day and an even better tomorrow.